Meeting. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. A special welcome to you newbies. For those that don't know me, I'm Sam Brancadora, Chairman of the Berkshire County Patriots. Kim is going to open our meeting with a prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's all welcome Kim. Kim, you got it, girl.
It is the duty of the patriot to protect his country from its government. Thomas Paine. Thank you, every patriot, for being here tonight. Let's bow our heads and pray. Holy Heavenly Father, we pray tonight in the name of Jesus for voter fraud and election fraud. It's outrageous. It makes us angry. Help us take these emotions and use them as fuel to correct that. And may it happen swiftly. Also, Lord Jesus, protect our Second Amendment right. These rights are precious, and they are from you. There's not one case of genocide in history when the people were armed. Lastly, Father, protect our borders, both north and south. It's treasonous that we're letting people stream into our country illegally, and we will not accept it. Last of all, I want to give you an Irish blessing. May your neighbors respect you. May the angels protect you. May trouble neglect you, and may heaven accept you. Romans 10:13, whosoever calls upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. And now we're going to salute the flag over towards the entry door, if you could turn that way. Oh, I'm sorry, up on the screen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rugged red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Steve. Folks, we're going to get it rolling. First of all, due to the events in Ukraine, we made arrangements to have J.R. McGee talk about this a little later. J.R. is an authority on this, and I think you're going to be very surprised at some of the things that J.R. says. Carlos Sands, candidate for senator, was supposed to be here tonight. We got a call on Tuesday afternoon from her campaign after several emails and phone calls. She cannot make it. It was a scheduling error on their part, very apologetic. They're going to do everything they can to make it up. Most likely they will be here next month. I want to point out that the Legislative Committee did a lot of work. They put an elaborate questionnaire together that they sent to all of the candidates for their response. Please go to our website. You'll see a link right on our first page. You'll be able to click on the different categories and see what their issues are, how they responded to our questionnaires. Folks, these are things you need to do. You need to be an informed voter, and that's why we do this. So I appreciate if you would go on our site. Announcement I have here. Sam Rohr, Honorable Sam Rohr, Representative Sam Rohr. Many of you know Sam. He will be speaking at Kissinger's Church on March 23rd. He also will be talking about the Ukraine situation. If you want more information on that, please see Helen. I'd like to acknowledge the sponsors that we have here. We have Run Rothenberger. Are you here? Run Rothenberger. Run Rothenberger Insurance. He is my insurance agent. Fantastic rates, fantastic service. Please stop by and see him. Also, is Diane and Keith Hawkins here? Diane, Keith, Hawkins, are you guys here? Okay, well, even though they're not here, they are a sponsor. They have the Grand Central Tap Room and Restaurant in Fleetwood. Linda and I have been there several times. Appreciate if you guys would go and visit them as well. Lehigh Valley Tea Party, I know they're here. Tom Carroll, wave your hand back there. Great, fantastic group, folks. They meet their sponsor, obviously. They meet the first Thursday of each month. We network together as issues warrant. Please try to patronize them as well. Another sponsor is Sue and Rudy with the Berks Oath Keepers. You guys back here, wave so people know who you are. Great. Some of us are members. We go to their meetings rather regularly. Matter of fact, they're having a meeting this Sunday. Is that correct? Rudy, Steve? Rudy and, okay, Sue? Okay, this Sunday at Wegmans Restaurant, 6 o'clock, if you'd like to join us. Now, if anyone else here would like to be a sponsor or know of someone who would like to sponsor one of our meetings, please see any board member. Well, folks, I hate to tell you, but the Biden's failed economic policies have finally caught up to the Berks County Patriots. Inflation has hit. We had to increase the price of our hot dogs. Can you believe that? Now, I do want to tell you, in all seriousness, if you have any complaints, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, remember that, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Okay, moving on to some BC business. I say this every month. We are still looking for locations to put up 4x8 signs to promote the Berks County Patriots. So if you have one, know of one, please let us know. We'd appreciate that. Also, we have these yard signs, window signs. This promotes us as well. We're only looking for a small donation. $2 would do it. We paid much more than that. The most important thing to us is that we get these out, that people see them. Then they will join our cause and help us to do what we need to do. So I'd appreciate if you would, take someone with you tonight. Also, our monthly flyer. In order for the Berks County Patriots to keep growing as we are, we need to find different ways to promote ourselves. This is another way. This is something we need to do. Now, we do put the flyers out. What we are looking for, a list of locations that will accept our flyer each month. So what we're asking you to do when you leave tonight, please take a flyer with you. During the course of the month, where you go to church, you go to your store, shopping store, ask them, would they allow that we could put a flyer up each month? We're not asking you to put it up. The only thing we're asking you to do is get us permission at a particular location, get that to us. We will then put a master list together, and with that master list, we will have people then go each month and put it up. Now, I mentioned this last month, and folks, I want to tell you, I am very disappointed in the results. So I hope next month, some of you do a little bit better. The only thing, one flyer, all the places you go, just ask. So please help us with that. We have our 50-50 raffle tickets. You need to be present to win. We will do that at the end of the program. We also have our gun raffle. There you do not need to be present to win, and we actually will be doing a gun raffle shortly. Also, folks, we do these raffles to help offset some of our income, some of our expenses. Our only income is what happens at these meetings tonight and our donations. So we appreciate any support that you give us. Okay, next, I want to acknowledge the candidates that are here tonight that are not speaking. First one I have here, Barry Joswiak. Barry, where are you? Somewhere around here? Okay, Barry's a candidate for the PA 5th, and he's my representative. I'm going to tell you, Barry contacted me several times today. He was in Harrisburg all day. Barry, 30 seconds, tell us about the petitions and what happened today. Kelly? Your 30 seconds just about up.
It doesn't work.
Yes, it does. I heard
It's
you.
not working.
Go ahead. Talk. It's working. Do it.
Petitions were supposed to be out last night, and they didn't come out. Then they were supposed to be out this morning at 9 o'clock. They didn't come out. We called the Department of State. They said 10 o'clock. We called. Went past. Weren't available. So I called Sam. I said, hey, they're not here. We don't know what we're going to do yet. We finally, after they stalled us all day, about 4:30 this afternoon, the petitions became available. So if anybody wants one, it's the departmentofstate.pa.gov. You can get online and get a petition. But thanks, Sam, and we finally got them. The petition season.
Okay, looks like you cut out, Barry. Hey, look, thank you very much. I appreciate you keeping me posted throughout the day. Next, we have Guy Shiraki. Guy Shiraki is running for candidate U.S. Senate. I don't want you to be confused, folks. Yes, it's not his twin brother that's here tonight. It's the same guy that was here last month who was running for governor. He made a switch. So we want to acknowledge that Guy is here. We have James Burton. He's a candidate for the PA 124th. Let's see, Jamie is also on our legislative committee. We have Chris Gebhardt, candidate for the PA Senate 48. Chris, you're around there somewhere. Just met Chris on Tuesday. Very nice guy. We'll be talking to Chris a little bit more. Let's see, Daniel Burton, candidate for U.S. Senate, U.S. Congress, 4th District. Daniel, you're around here. Daniel actually came to, actually his daughter came to our house twice to sign petitions. Thank you, appreciate that. Jill Saunders. Jill, you're here. I know I talked to you earlier. Where are you? Where are you? Back in the back there? Okay, Jill is running as candidate for the PA 124th. We have also Dave Kozlowski. Dave, I know I saw you. Where are you, Dave? Dave? You are here, aren't you? Oh, okay. Dave's in the back over there. He's running for the, candidate for the PA 5th. And I have a Tracy Penny Chuck, I think it is, State Senate. You here, Penny? Okay, right here. Penny, what State Senate? What number? 24. 24. Okay, Penny, 24. Okay, thank you all. I just want to acknowledge all of you. And let me just see. I believe, Steve, that's going to take care of me for now. Move on to the next step. Steve, I'll tell you. Can you hold a second? Can you hold a second? There is something that Wayne asked me to do. Sorry about that. Here it is. No, I actually did it. Oh, man, this Alzheimer's disease is really getting to me. Okay, you got it, Steve. Sorry about that.
All right, Sam asked me to do some fill-in time because we lost some of our speakers for the night. I want you to enjoy this. It's actually funny, but it's not. And once you watch this, you'll understand why.
Strings and I sign your bill. I'm your puppet. Your left is strings I want to fulfill. I'm your puppet. Ooh, I'm yours. I'll do what I'm told. Obama, you got full control of your puppet. Pull my little strings and I'll open the gates. I'm your puppet. I'll let in illegal immigrants. I'm your puppet. Ooh, your wish is my command. I could screw up Afghanistan. I'm your puppet. I'm your puppet. I'm just a toy, just a funny boy who does what I'm told to do. I'll do anything, just give me ice cream and pay Hunter some money too. I'm your puppet. I'm your puppet. Pull my strings and I hit your gong. I'm your puppet. Make me do right, cheat, or make me do wrong. I'm your puppet. Ooh, I'm yours. I do what I'm told. China, you got full control of your puppet. I'm your puppet. I'm bad at walking and talking. I can't hardly think. I'm hanging on a string. Oh, I'll do anything. I'm confused, so tell me what to do. But spin what? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hi, everybody. Okay, that's all right. Oh, I'm Carol Gardecki. I teach a Constitution class, and so tonight I'm going to give you a little mini lesson. You know you have a month till you have to pay your taxes. So I thought I'd talk about the income tax. How many of you know that we did not always pay income tax? Well, some. Can anybody tell me what year we started paying income tax? Okay. No, not that long. The first year we paid income tax was 1913. 1913. So from 1776 to 1913, they ran the government just fine without our income tax. 137 years we didn't pay tax. So, since 1913 up to 2022, that's 109 years that we are paying. So we're paying income tax for a lot fewer years than we did not pay. In the beginning, the first tax, you owed 1% of your income over $20,000. If you don't know it, not many people earned $20,000 in 1913. I found, when my father passed away, I found one of his old tax returns from, I think, somewhere in the 40s. And the whole year, he earned $1,400. It was an odd number, but 1,400 something. So, it kept going up. In the beginning, nobody complained. It didn't cost much, so they paid it. But then, it started to get higher, and people weren't always honest. So what they did was, they introduced withholding. Your employer had to take the money out of your check before you saw the check. So that's how they got the money, and they were sure they got the money. They weren't depending on you to pay it. If you are still working and you still get a W-2 form, I would like you to look at that and see how much money the government takes out of your paycheck. It's a lot. If they waited till the end of the year to collect that from you, I think there would be a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth. But since they take it out of your check a little bit at a time, most of us just ignore it. Our founding fathers did not want an income tax. They also did not want property tax. So there's two things that the founders of our country never wanted that we are now stuck with: income tax and property tax. They would not have a problem with tariffs, sales tax. Our founding fathers would not have a problem with sales tax, but they did not like income tax. So to finish up, I'm starting a new Constitution class in April. My table's right back there next to where they're selling the gun tickets. This is the book we're going to use. If you want to sign up for the class, or if you want to ask me some more questions, come on back and see me and we'll talk about it. Thank you very much.
All right, folks, this firearm has been safety checked. It is empty. Another one of those 3,000 per second rounds that the Democrats and CNN said that can shoot a hole as big as this roof in the roof. We're going to have our friend J.R. McGee, who's going to be speaking later tonight, draw the winner for that AK-47. That is an American-made AK-47. It's not Russian. It's not Chinese. We pride ourselves on buying American-made firearms. It's important to us. Want to pull one out of there, JR? The winning number 032. Christine. Is Christine here? Hua? Marine? Christine, are you here? 032. No? No. All right, they're not here. They will be notified that they won the AK. Don't go anywhere, JR. What we're doing different this month, JR is going to pull another ticket. Whoever's name is drawn for this ticket gets a free ticket for the next gun. So you'll be entered for the 9mm SD 9mm. Second ticket, 037. Dave Groskup. Is Dave here? Congratulations, Dave. You will win a free entry for the new pistol that's up. You want to come up, Dave? All right, that's it for now. If we move, actually, no, don't go anywhere else. I'm going to give you another bucket. Yeah, give me those. We actually sold the 525 rounds of 9mm, so let's do that right away. That's 500 rounds of target ammo with 25 rounds of personal protection ammo in that drawing. The winner of the 525 rounds of 059, Mike France. Is Mike here? Mike France, you here? He will be notified of his wins. Okay, let's give a hand to JR. JR will be speaking shortly. Thanks, folks.
Happy Shamrock, Patriots. Shamrock Day, I should say. Did you have your green beer yet? I hope to have some later on, but my diet calorie count says I can only have this much. Tonight I have the privilege of introducing congressional candidate for the 6th District, Regina Mauro. Regina has been an activist before anyone knew she was an activist, working quietly and tirelessly towards fixing the wrongs in our country. She's now stepping up to the plate to be a strong voice in D.C. She advocates small government, strong border security, election integrity, school choice, the sanctity of life, and the Second Amendment. This daughter of Cuban immigrants with an American heart is a proven leader who refuses to back down and will never compromise when it comes to God, family, and country. Please listen to why she believes she is the candidate that can defeat Chrissy Houlihan. Patriots, Regina Mauro.
Can I grab the mic? Yes. Okay, good. And how long do I have? 10 minutes. I'm Regina Mauro. I was so looking forward to talking to you guys. What? I'm sorry? Hold it closer. Okay, I got it. One quick anecdote, because I saw the raffle, and my husband is a huge gun fan. We've been wanting to buy an AR, or I've been wanting to buy an AR for a long time, and I won one finally at a raffle. I was in a room, it was like 95% men. They were all just waiting because it was gorgeous. It was custom made, and I won it. I was like a little girl. I was so excited. But anyway, so my name is Regina Mauro. She did a good part of the work for me, so you know about the fact that I've been an activist. And this is something that I did as I was fulfilling my duties as a professional. I'm a small business owner. As a mom, I'm a mom of two adopted sons who were born in Russia. And I'm the wife of 35 years of the son of an Italian immigrant. What made me who I am, the essence of who I am, and why in the darkness, and I'll explain why I became an activist, is coming from a family that had to escape their country because they lost it all. And I grew up just appreciating the freedom, the liberties that we have in this country. And I don't know if you guys know, but Cubans are the only minority whose majority is not just Republican, they're rabid Republicans. Forever. And it started with Kennedy. My dad was a veteran of Bay of Pigs. And he lost a lot of friends. We lost relatives in the most horrible ways. So we came to this country. I was the first one born here. We moved to Puerto Rico when I was 5. I grew up there. My siblings were born there. But all of us are diehard conservatives. The election of Barack Obama is the one that terrified us because that's when the party went loony left. When he started talking about you didn't build that, spread the wealth, our spidey senses were going crazy. We've heard that before. And it was so disheartening that we would try to wake up people and we would get this look of innocence from living in a country where you would not even picture that something like that could happen. And it's so encouraging that I don't see those faces anymore, that people are awake. To see this size room full of patriots, it just warms my heart because we've been terrified, having seen the things that we've already seen. Whether it's what they're doing in schools. We can go down the list. I don't want to keep telling you about that. Now, as far as being an activist, I had to do it outside of the state of Pennsylvania for my own safety and that of my family. I have faced Antifa many times. I have faced Black Lives Matter. I had to go under a different name. I had to communicate through VPN so they wouldn't find us because I saw what happened to my friends. They will go attack them at their places of business, go after their elderly parents. People will lose their jobs. And I didn't want to bring all that to my family. Now, I must have been pretty good in my activism in converting people because I started getting a lot of national attention from people that we like and some people that we don't like. The one person that it was a little unsettling, Nancy Pelosi, started monitoring my social media, which told me I was doing something right. She doesn't follow a lot of people, but that tells me that I am a threat to the Democrat Party. I'm an inconvenient truth. I'm a woman. I'm a Hispanic. I'm the daughter of immigrants. I am a Republican. I am a conservative, and they don't want that to be known. I'm an inconvenient truth. All the friends that I run around with, I happen to be a lifelong Republican. But half of them, all Hispanic, half of them left the Democratic plantation. Bye-bye. So I got into this because I firmly believe that I am the candidate that can neutralize all the appeal that Chrissy Houlihan has. We have women in Chester County, and these are the ones that admit it. We have women in Chester County that admit voting for Chrissy. And when you ask them why, they say, well, because she's a woman. And after all, she's a moderate. She's not a moderate. She's my neighbor. I got her number. I promise you she's not a moderate. And I'll give you an example why. She doesn't just fall in line with the Democrats. She drools over Biden. She loves Joe Biden. She's one of his biggest supporters. When I downloaded, I'm very crazy with analysis and numbers and bills, all those big bills, I download into my computer, and I look for the stuff that's hidden in there. Build Back Better, which she was all over the place promoting for him. I'll give you 2 things that are hidden in there, just 2. I have a connection, somebody that through my activism, I made a lot of connections at the national level, and this woman gets a briefing from the House of Representatives on the bills that the Democrats are trying to pass. They get the page numbers, they get the talking points. Then she calls me on the phone and she tells me everything. So 2 things that are buried in there, the Build Back Better. Picture a low-income neighborhood, single parents, single mom with children. And you have one of the moms saying, you know what, ladies, I'll take care of the kids, you go work. And they help each other. Buried in there, if you have any kind of, if you provide child care services, for you to be allowed to do that, you have to have a member of the staff that has a college degree. There's a design behind all this. What they're trying to do is to bring the children closer to the state. Again, we've seen that. We saw it already in Cuba. Another thing, parochial schools. If most of the building is used for religious worship of any kind, it could be Catholic, it could be Muslim, it could be Presbyterian, it doesn't matter. And you have a leaky roof, you're not going to qualify for funds to repair it because most of the dwelling is used for worship. What does that do to that school? They're going to say, well, we have the good buildings over here. You come over here, we'll take care of you. And that's how they take over your children. It's not just about CRT. It's not just about the mandates. It is so Machiavellian, and it has so many tentacles. And you need people that are aware of this. They have intimate knowledge, because that's how you're going to be able to be effective in Congress. You're going to hear from other candidates. In essence, we're all conservative. We all have great plans. So we may sound the same. But the key thing that I want to leave you with, you need to get somebody that can actually be elected to do those things. I have some information in the back that reviews the history of the district. The district used to be D plus 0.6. D plus 0.6, so pretty much Republicans and Democrats don't own it. The moment they established a little tunnel to swallow Reading, it became a D plus 9. Chrissy set an office right in Reading. Why is that? Reading is about 75% Hispanic. Most of them are Puerto Rican, where I grew up, but in Puerto Rico. The second biggest group is Dominican. You need somebody who's going to be able to not just neutralize her appeal, the woman part, the graduate degrees, the business owner, but somebody that can expand the base. If we don't expand the base, we don't have the numbers anymore. I got the latest numbers from our district. They outnumber us by 5% registration. May 2020 is when they surpassed us in Chester County by 228 votes. They have been registering 8 new Democrats per day. So we have an incumbent. It's hard to unseat an incumbent. They have the mail-in ballot strategy. They have it down pat. They have more registrations. We cannot afford to go in with the same type of candidate. We can't, and expect a different result. 2020 was the last one. John Emmons was a spectacular candidate. He would have been a spectacular Congress member. He did not even reach 44% of the vote. So that's why I'm working with Joseph Nunez. We have been already registering people, flipping them from Democrat to Republican. Right, Joseph? Oh, we got the pictures to prove it. Okay, I guess that's it. So anyway, I would love to talk to all of you. I have a table in the back with my cards, and I just ask that, just look at all this information, and I hope to earn your support. Thank you.
Folks, up next is Dean Klopp. I'm sure most of you know him in the room. He's our champion of school property tax, among other things. He's going to talk to you tonight a little bit about voter integrity, a seminar he's putting together, and a couple other things as well. Let's all welcome Dean Klopp, folks.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Patriots. It's great to be here. When I first got involved with politics 9 years ago, I was first a Berks County Patriot, and I still am today, because this room rocks, and I love you people. This is where it's happening. This is where we're making a difference. Folks, tomorrow night we're having a very critical meeting. We're having experts in regards to election integrity coming out to the Leesport Farmers Market. I know it's short notice for many of you, but tomorrow night we have Dr. Frank and Seth Keschel, experts in their field of statistician and fighting for liberty. Dr. Frank did some amazing work down in Montgomery County in the 2020 election, uncovering that if their voter rolls are correct in Montgomery County, let me ask you a question. Hold on to that. How many folks do you think that are eligible to vote in Berks County? Anybody? What percent? 112%. That's probably what's happening. I would have guessed 60% maybe. I asked people in the room earlier, 70%. 98% in Montgomery County. That is, folks, what? That is not happening. Folks, last year I stood here a year ago and I predicted that our legislature would do nothing about our elections, and they proved me right. Today, Pennsylvania Liberty Alliance, the Berks County Patriots, and Audit the Vote is doing the work of our paid legislators. We're out canvassing on the streets of Berks County, Lebanon County, moving into Schuylkill County. We're building a case that cannot be denied. You're not going to believe, if you come out tomorrow night, you're not going to believe what we're going to share with you. We're finding, just for instance, up to half of the homes that we talk to the homeowners, there's discrepancies in as much as half of the homes that we talk to about who voted, how many people voted, did they live there, yada, yada. Folks, 3 out of 10 homes that we canvass, there are people, what we call phantom voters. They don't live there. They're on the voter rolls, the state system, the state shore system. We go there with this information. We talk to the homeowner if they'll allow us. And they don't know who some of these people are when we tell them they're registered to vote at your address. They're not related. They didn't live there once before. They don't know who they are. Folks, this is happening not just in Berks County, but all over the state. We spend time in Reading. We spend time out in Bethel, in rural areas. It's all the same. It's happening everywhere. The folks that are coming out tomorrow night, you got to come out because they're the experts. I'm not. Yeah, I'm doing legwork and I'm coming up with numbers. But Dr. Frank, do you guys remember him during the pandemic? This guy was a beacon in the wilderness, a light in the dark for liberty, for our liberties. Like I said, his initial work was down in Montgomery County regarding the election integrity. But Seth Keschel, also a wonderful man who does the analysis of voter registration, he will talk about the trends of Republican voters. If you remember in 2020, people were lining up. We couldn't get them signed up fast enough to be Republican voters. If we had double-digit gains for Republican voters in 2020, why was the opposite true? Why did the opposite happen? And less people came out to vote in certain districts. Folks, both of these gentlemen are God-fearing patriots. Both are very down-to-earth, humble, and willing to answer your questions and find out the truth. They're going to take your questions. They're going to give you answers. If anyone's ever gotten to see them live, you know this is going to be a treat. Folks, we must follow this issue to its end. Without legitimate elections, we cannot trust elections, their outcomes, or our politicians, especially the ones who deny election fraud and election integrity. They continue to sit on their hands and give us false hope, like House Bill 1300 or 1600, that has no chance of passing, and they know it. Folks, this is serious business. If our House reps and our state senators wanted to get something done, they would sign on to one of two bills. In the House, HB 25, full repeal of Act 77, Why are there only 32 signed on? Only one from Berks County, by the way. SB 884 in the Senate. It sits in Dave Argle's state committee. It's not moving. It would repeal mail-in voting. Sound like a good idea, folks? Then you guys need to get on the phone and tell these people where you're at. Look, folks, Donald Trump is not coming to save us. I'm sorry. The cavalry is not coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. We can do it. There's people right here, I've seen them all day who've been out with us doing the hard work. Folks, we need you to join us. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. We invite you to come out tomorrow night. Leesport Farmers Market, doors open at 6 o'clock. We'll be there 6 to 8:30, probably be there later till 9 o'clock. Please come out. You can register at Audit the Vote PA. It'll cost you $20. We're covering the expenses of the room and the travel expenses of these gentlemen. But folks, we need you. We need you to come out. Find the truth. We're going to give you the truth tomorrow night. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thanks, Dean. Thank you, Dean Klopp. Brother and sister patriots, how are you? Those of you who don't know me, my name is Jamie Burton. And I serve on the Berks Patriots Legislative Committee. It's my pleasure to introduce to you tonight Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor candidate Russ Diamond. All right, Russ. He's currently serving his 4th term to PA House in the 102nd Legislative District, that's Lebanon County. Russ was born in Hershey, and he grew up in Lebanon County, graduating from Northern Lebanon High School, and then Lebanon Valley Vo-Tech in 1981. In 92, his passion for music led him to open up a small recording studio called Raintree Multimedia, and that's celebrating its 30th year of operations this December. 21-22 legislative session, Russ is serving as a member of the Agricultural and Rural Affairs, Liquor Control, Gaming Oversight, and State Government Committees. Russ also serves as Speaker Designee to the Joint State Governor Commissioners Election Law Advisory Board. So will you all please join me in welcoming Republican candidate for Lieutenant Governor, Russ Diamond.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Good evening, everyone. Come on, good evening. Come on, make some noise. You know, it's really awesome to be here with the Berks County Patriots. I am running for Lieutenant Governor, and I want you to think about 3 things when you're selecting the best candidate for Lieutenant Governor. 3 things to keep in mind. Number 1, can this person help our next governor candidate beat Josh Shapiro? That is goal number 1 this year. Beat Josh Shapiro. Number 2, can this candidate help our next governor hit the ground running to create policies that turn Pennsylvania around after they're elected? That's question number 2. Question number 3, it's the entire reason that we have a lieutenant governor. Is this person best suited to step into the role of the governorship should, God forbid, some tragedy befall our governor? Folks, I want to tell you why I am uniquely qualified in all 3 of those categories. Number 1, I have been with you and the people of Pennsylvania, especially over the last 2 years. Folks, it took 462 days, many legislative battles, a Supreme Court showdown, 2 constitutional amendments, and more legislative battles to finally end Tom Wolf's tyranny. Give yourselves a hand for doing that, by the way. 462 days. But on day 11, exactly 2 years ago today, St. Patrick's Day 2020, I was the legislator who put forth a termination resolution. They called me crazy. They called me radical. They said I wanted everybody to get sick. But in the end, the majority of the legislature agreed with me, and the majority of Pennsylvania voters agreed with me. I was right. Tom Wolf needed shut down. We shut him down. And at the end of that process, when our leadership in Harrisburg put forth a partial termination, it was my amendment that made that a full termination to bring Tom Wolf's tyranny to a halt. Folks, I stopped Tom Wolf. End of story. I did it. Number two, I've been at the forefront of election integrity since before the November 2020 election. In September 2020, I sued the counties of Philadelphia, Delaware, and Center over those Zuckerbucks that came in that essentially turned into a get-out-the-vote effort for Joe Biden. I sued in federal court along with 7 other legislators. Unfortunately, the federal court threw that case out. And then after the 2020 election, Dean Klopp told you about phantom voters and what Dr. Frank found. I was on the team that figured that out. We figured out the whole phantom voter theory, and then it's been proven out as Dean, as his teams are knocking on doors and figuring out that's actually right. I was right about that. Folks, I was the first legislator to stand up against mask mandates. They called me crazy, they called me radical, but in the end, I was right. In July of 2020, I was the first legislator to talk about the long-term effects of putting kids through these stupid mitigation measures in schools, both the negative consequences for them academically and psychologically. They called me crazy, they called me radical. They said I wanted kids to get sick, but I was right. We're seeing the test score results now. I was right all along, folks. And also in July 2020, before there was ever a COVID-19 vaccine, we had just barely heard of this Operation Warp Speed. I was the legislator who put in the bill to protect Pennsylvanians from vaccine mandates. And now I've elevated that to a constitutional amendment, that's House Bill 2013, that would establish medical freedom as a fundamental individual right that can never be violated in Pennsylvania. The only excuse, the only exemption you should ever need against any kind of vaccination is, I do not want that shot, thank you very much. Your medical freedom is important. Also want to go back to talk about election integrity a little bit more. Dean talked about House Bill 25 and the Senate bill, I think it's 884, to repeal Act 77. I will tell you why I'm not a co-sponsor of House Bill 25 in the House. Because it is a bill that has to be signed by a governor. This governor will not sign any election integrity bill. And that's why I have another constitutional amendment that will make no excuse mail-in voting illegal forever. It doesn't have to get by a governor. It goes through the House and the Senate and then goes on the ballot so that you can decide. You can decide whether you want this crazy no excuse mail-in voting. Folks, I've been right all along about all these issues, and that's how I can help our next governor beat Josh Shapiro. Now let's talk about once elected, what's going to happen. We need a governor who has a relationship with the General Assembly. These two branches of government need to work together to turn the ship of Pennsylvania around. You're going to need somebody who already has established relationships with House members and senators who can introduce that governor and talk to those House members and senators about their policy and priorities. I'm perfectly suited to do that, folks. No other candidate in this race has those established relationships with current legislators in Harrisburg. And finally, let me tell you why I'm uniquely qualified to step into that role of governorship if tragedy befalls our next governor. Folks, this is no place for on-the-job training. You need someone who's experienced and has been around the block a time or two. Look, I've not just been in Harrisburg for 7 years as a legislator, but before that, anybody here remember the midnight pay raise of 2005? Anybody remember that? Well, I was that guy who ran across the state and recruited 113 candidates to challenge legislators. We threw out a Supreme Court justice for the first time. A number of those candidates became members of the House of Representatives. One of them was one of my predecessor. Another one of them is currently the Speaker of the House. Folks, I've been working on behalf of the people for 18 years, but I also have extensive experience in the private sector. My business is celebrating its 30th year this year. Folks, I've signed the front of a paycheck. I've also signed the back of a paycheck. I was a factory worker for 7 years, slinging plastic 12-hour shifts overnight. I've been a truck driver. I've been a working musician. I'm an author. I'm a pilot. I have a broad swath of life experience to pull from. So in case something happens to our next governor, that transition, instead of a shock to the Commonwealth, will be a smooth transition. Folks, I am uniquely qualified to be your next governor. I want you to think about one thing. When you are looking for the best candidate for lieutenant governor, you need to look no further than the one person who already stopped the worst governor in Pennsylvania history. I stopped Tom Wolf. I fought for you for 18 years. I will continue to fight for you as your lieutenant governor. And I ask for your support and your vote. My name is Russ Diamond. My website is russdiamond.vote, not .com, not .org, .net. russdiamond.vote. Please visit my website. I've got a fantastic new music video you can see there. russdiamond.vote. I ask for your support. Berks Patriots, may God bless you, may God bless the Commonwealth, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much. Have a great night. I think they want me to talk longer. No, I'm sorry. Next up, it's you. God bless you, everyone. Have a good night.
I guess we don't get an introduction. I guess we are don't really need one. Okay. Okay, well, we are the ones who did the Freedom Convoy to Valley Forge a few weeks ago. Yeah. Who saw it or who went to it? Okay. Good. Wow. Well, thank you. We were very excited to do that.
Sorry, folks. Russ, did you use your full time? I can't believe that 10 minutes went that fast. Folks, I apologize. I should have been up sooner. I just want to introduce these gals here. We had a fantastic time. I guess it was March 5th with the Freedom Convoy going from Morgantown to Valley Forge, which I'll talk about. I want to thank all of you that supported it. I want to thank Steve for getting there early, setting up. He had a fantastic vantage point. And I'll tell you, all the Berks County Patriot signs you saw, Steve put them up. That was fantastic. I also want to thank Kelly for taking the pictures. Doug for doing the video. And these girls are fantastic. Now, there was also an overpass rally 2 days before. So I want to introduce you to them, the girls that are here. Michelle Raymond, I think you know Helen McMinn, and Sally Greff, and they will have a nice story to tell you. Now you have the bike.
Okay. And we have two girls that didn't make it, Stephanie and Alyssa as well. Sally has to do her spiel here.
Okay, this whole thing started out, when you think you can't make a difference, this whole thing started out with 5 women in a bar. We didn't, not all of us knew each other. It didn't matter. I've got new sisters now because this thing, we pulled 2 rallies together in 6 weeks with 5 women and a bar.
Well, thank you very much. I just want to recap a little bit and give you a little background. I and my couple friends were doing Trump trains from Morgantown, the Valley Forge, off and on since 2020. We took a break, and when the convoys came in, we knew it was time to get motivated. We rebranded ourselves to We Are the People Berks, and we were going to have an event. We had Sally. She did the overpasses on the 3rd, and then the rest of us did, with her of course, did the event in Valley Forge. We had 200 cars that met us in Morgantown. We took 23 through very liberal Phoenixville, and I always say that we were waved. Not always a thumb up, but it was impactful, which is what we need to do. We need to be impactful. We estimated about 400 people were at the event. It was a great time, a lot of fellowship, which is what we need. Doing some action, getting ourselves out there is what we need to be doing. We're trying to encourage people to get more involved in any which way, from convoys to help with petitions, helping at the voting location. All that's important. And we had a candidate who spoke who first time ever was running, which was really awesome. Trying to think. All right. A couple of things updating. We are working on planning another event. We're still on planning stage, so you'll hear that shortly. An update, the People's Convoy. We had tons and tons of donations. We had a connection that we actually met here last time. She got us all of our supplies to the People's Convoy, down to the people going towards Washington, D.C. So thank you so much, everybody who contributed. They got to where they needed to be. It was a whole truckload. It was a big cube truck. I mean, it's pretty big. We have pictures on our social media. It's pretty big. Our banner, somebody donated. It actually was on Tucker Carlson a couple nights ago on the front. Okay, so one of our banners and flags were down in Hagerstown in D.C., which is pretty cool. Couple of upcoming things locally, well, not locally, but reference to the convoy. They are asking if anybody can go to the Hagerstown Speedway anytime, just to come down and support them. They'd appreciate it any day. They're always there. What they're doing is they're having like a rest spot at the Speedway where they feed everybody, and then the truckers go out back and forth to D.C. from there. So if anybody wants to go anytime. They do have a website, thepeoplesconvoy.org, for additional information. Donation-wise, they're asking for gift cards or donations. The website will also have that information. Brand new thing, though. They are now, the People's Convoy in Delco is working on doing a convoy to Harrisburg, beginning of April. So we can get really involved in that. We're thinking that first Saturday in April. It's kind of tentative yet, but please put that in your date book. So that'd be a really great way to show the state where we are at. We're done. And
we'll put it on the website.
We'll put it on. We have a Facebook, Telegram, and a Getter account. Our name is also my email at protonmail.com.
But we'll get it on Berks County Patriots.
Yeah, we'll get on Berks County Patriots as well.
Me?
I think I'm good.
Are you done? All right. Well, the only thing I'm going to say is I want to hear you all together. USA! 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 Yay! That's all I have to say. All right? I'm a patriot, just like you.
Okay, I am staying on the stage, unfortunately for you guys. I am introducing Ron Vogel. He is a candidate for the 6th District Congressional seat. He is eager and excited to give back to and work for the country he loves. Ron is a successful realtor and was raised in a middle-class family in Chester County, Pennsylvania, and was taught to work hard, value our freedoms, always fight for what is right, and treat everyone as he wants to be treated. Ron never planned on being a politician, but he has now decided that it is time to give back to the people. Ron wants to serve the people by bringing common sense back to Washington so that everyone who wants to work hard can live the American dream. Please say hello to Ron Vogel.
Who here loves America? Come on, you can do better than that. Who really loves America? There we go. There we go. Well, my name is Ron Vogel, and I'm running for United States Congress in Pennsylvania's 6th District, and I am running because I love America. I am a God-fearing, freedom-fighting, anti-mandate, Second Amendment-loving, pro-life, America First patriot. And I love America. I grew up in this area. I lived in Berks County for several years up until 2020. I live in Chester County now with my wife, my 4-year-old daughter, my 3-year-old son, and my 6-month-old son. Part of the reason that I got into this race was the 2021 school board elections in Chester County got swept by the far left. And I was sitting on my couch next to my wife, and we were talking about how America has changed. And it's changed for the worse over the last couple of years. And, you know, we've got these young kids. They're going to be entering the schools. These schools want to indoctrinate them. They don't want to educate them. They want to give them a CRT indoctrination instead of an education. And I'm thinking, how can I help save America? And I said to my wife, I said, what if I run for Congress? I can help fix all 50 states. She didn't say yes. She knows me too well. So she said, you have to do it. You have to do it. Because my wife knows that when I set my eyes on a target, I give 110% and I make it happen. I make it happen. I'm not running for the money like a lot of politicians out there. If I get elected, I'm going to take a big pay cut. I'm not running for the glory. People are already trying to trash my name and attacking my family members. I'm not running to spend more time with my wife and kids. I've been campaigning so much that I don't get to see them a whole lot. But I am running because I can help fix this country and make it better for all of us, all of our kids, grandkids, nieces, and nephews. The reason America is the best country in the world is because strong people have stepped up in times of need to fight for America. And I am stepping up now. I am stepping up to fight for America. No other congressional district in America better represents the hardworking people better than PA 6. We stand for the national anthem. We believe that parents know what's best for their children. We want safe, secure, fair elections. We honor the dedication and service of our service members. We believe that biological men don't belong in women's bathrooms. We believe that life must be protected. All life. We believe in law and order and the Second Amendment. And we believe in putting America first. My opponent, Chrissy Houlihan, she campaigned as a moderate, but that is all a lie. I wrote an op-ed, if you go on Google, type my name, and you'll find it. And all I said in this op-ed was that I don't think biological men should compete against our daughters, against women in sports. It's not fair. And, right, that makes sense. Am I crazy? So she goes ahead and she sends this email out to all of her constituents and is talking about how I'm a bad guy because I want to protect women's sports. This is what we're dealing with here, right? Chrissy Houlihan's not good, not a moderate. Chrissy Houlihan, she voted to let men use women's bathrooms. She voted to take away your guns with red flag laws. She believes that abortions are okay up until the moment of birth. She refuses to protect our border. She has to go, and I am going to bring her down. We are going to win back the House. We're going to win back the House. And when we get there, we are going to pull the emergency brake to stop Joe Biden's far left agenda. I am the hardest working candidate. All I know is hard work. On my team, I have a gentleman named Matt Brainard. He was Donald Trump's director of data and strategy in 2016. He is helping me to defeat Chrissy Houlihan. I love Berks County, and I love Chester County, and the people of Chester County are supporting me. I earned 58% of the committee's vote at the endorsement convention a couple weeks ago, and I am the top recommended candidate out of Chester County. And I hope to earn the endorsement here in Berks in April. We just had to get 1,000 signatures to get on the ballot. And my team of grassroots volunteers, more than 100 people are on my volunteer list already. They are motivated, they are ready to go. In just 8 days of collecting, we got the most signatures out of any candidate, 2,399 signatures. We are on the ballot, and we are going to take down Chrissy Houlihan. And I will go to D.C. and I will fight against the swamp. I will fight against the establishment. I will never be a part of the establishment, and nobody is going to buy my vote. I will always, always put America first. I'll end with this. I'm a hockey player. I've been playing since I was 4 years old. I'm 36 years old now. I've broken almost every bone in my body. I've broken my nose 3 times, both my collarbones, most of my ribs, shattered both my hands, broken both my fingers, most of my fingers, shattered my foot, and my wrist is still healing from a break right now. And I keep going back for more. The way that I break most of my bones is because I step in front of slap shots to protect my team, to help my team. I step in front knowing that I'm going to break bones, knowing that it's going to hurt. And I do it to help my team. And when I do break a bone, I play through the pain till the end of the game, win or lose. That is the kind of person you have standing before you today. That is the person that will be fighting for America, putting America first. Thank you all, God bless you all, and God bless America. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, thank you. God bless you, son.
Folks, earlier I mentioned candidates in the House that were not speaking. I missed 2 of them. James Oswalt for the 126. James, where are you? Where are you? Got in the back there. Sorry, James. Also, L. Rutledge running for the 124th. PA 1. L, where are you? L? Going once, L? Oh, I see. Okay, great. Okay, sorry I missed you guys. Okay, up next is Lowman Henry. Lowman is the chairman and CEO of the Lincoln Institute for Public Opinion Research. I'm not going into, obviously, a lengthy introduction. Let's all welcome Lowman Henry. By the way, I will say, even though he's going to, I want to get a little bit more of a plug here. He's actually going to be doing a plug for the Pennsylvania Leadership Conference, and I'll let him go there. But I just want to tell you, this is a great organization to go to be there, see the other candidates and everything else that's happening. I'll let him finish that.
Thank you very much, Sam. Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to call to your attention the annual Pennsylvania Leadership Conference, which is coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow, April 1st and 2nd. It's at the Penn Harris Hotel in Camp Hill. How many of you here have been to the Leadership Conference before? I see a number, but not everybody. How many of you know what CPAC is? Yeah, everybody knows. This is Pennsylvania's version of CPAC. We have a 2-day conference this year. We have Trey Gowdy from Fox News, the former congressman, who's going to be our featured dinner speaker. We have Matt Bevin, the former governor of Kentucky, who was elected governor in the Tea Party wave, who's going to be here. We have all 10 of the Republican candidates for governor going to participate in a forum. We have most of the candidates for the U.S. Senate so far participating in a forum. And former U.S. Senator Rick Santorum is going to join us to talk about Convention of the States. Scott Perry, who now heads the House Freedom Caucus, is going to be one of our speakers. It's a great time. It's great networking. It's April 1st, Friday, Saturday, April 2nd at the Penn Harris. I have flyers in the back, or you can go to paleadershipconference.com. And at paleadershipconference.com, we have the whole schedule posted. And because y'all are so great, and in past years, you have sent several tables full of people to our dinner. So we hope you're all back this year. We have a special promo code, BERKS, B-E-R-K-S. And if you go to paleadershipconference.com and you enter Berks, you'll get a $25 discount off of the registration. And also this year, how many of you think that the election in 2020 was fair? How many of you are worried that the 2022 election may also not be fair? On Thursday, March 31st, the day before the leadership conference, Jim DeMint's group, the Conservative Partnership Institute, is having the Pennsylvania Election Integrity Summit. It's a pre-Pennsylvania Leadership Conference event. It's also at the Penn Harris. It's a day-long training and discussion of what we all can do to ensure the 2020 election is fair. And breaking news today, we learned that Mark Meadows, who was the chief of staff to President Trump, is going to be the lunch speaker for the summit. So you can also register for that at paleadershipconference.org. 2 weeks away. I hope you all will go to that website, register, and join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lowman. Folks, I hope a lot of you go there for the conference. Making a change in the agenda, we picked up a couple minutes. I want to have, let's see, who do I have here? Just want to make sure. Yes, okay. Daniel Burton. Daniel is running for the U.S. 4th, as it turns out. I just found out he's in my district. And what he did, he wanted to get signatures like everybody else here had to get signatures. He had his daughter come to my house to get Linda's signature and mine. Linda was not there, got my signature. He had his daughter come back a few hours later. Fantastic team. Let's all welcome Dan.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. I don't like standing behind tables, so I'm going to stand right here. Sam, it was an honor for my daughter to come out to your house twice and meet with you and Linda. You said he doesn't normally sign signatures on petitions, but I convinced him because I'm a Marine that fellow Marines need to support each other. So, yeah, absolutely. So, a little bit about me. I am a father of 3, husband of 22 years, Marine Corps veteran. I was in the National Guard after the Marines. I graduated from Penn State and all that happy stuff. I am not a politician. I'm an American, and I feel called to serve this country again. And when I say serve this, thank you. And I know I don't have very much time because Sam squeaked me in here tonight. But when I say serve this country, I truly mean it. Because when I say serve, what it used to be is that's where the congressmen and senators were, on the bottom of your shoe, because they wanted to serve this country and serve its people, irregardless of their position, the money they made, the positions they held for work. That's where they were. They were servants to we the people. Now, 95% of those same folks are going to be served. They go down there, they make lots of money, they siphon it through countries around the world, and that's their career. And then they retire after a few times being elected, and they collect their same pension. They're not going to serve. I've heard some candidates here this evening that said the same. They want to go serve. That's what I am truly doing. I will also say that I am going to speak the truth. I feel called to be the warrior I was created to be. I am going to serve this country, and I am going to serve it well. So, as I go there, I will be speaking truth in the darkness, because there is only one thing that combats darkness, and that's the light. I will go speak truth in the darkness. I can't tell you how many congressmen I've already talked to that ask me, Dan, why are you doing this? And I say, I'm going to go speak truth in the darkness. You're not going to make a lot of friends, Dan. You know what? That's okay, because I will be the tip of the spear that stands between evil and all of you. I will do that, because that is what I am called to do. But I can't do it alone. So any candidate that gets up here and tells you 100% of what you want to hear is lying to you. We may not agree on everything. I'll tell you where I stand. I'll tell you where my faith is. I'll tell you anything you want to know about me. And we might not agree, but disagreeing is okay. But I will tell you this. I will be the tip of the spear against the evil that is coming after our children in our schools, after our families, after every American citizen. I will go, and I will fight and be the tip of the spear. So, here's my call to you. Here's my call to you. I will be the tip of the spear, but there are a lot of other parts to that spear. There's the blacksmith, the shaft, the thrower, the support. If we are going to do this, we do it together. I need all of you to stand together to save our country, because this is not a war of Democrat and Republican. This is a war of good versus evil. And right now, good is wrong and wrong is good. And you see that, you hear that, you feel that voice inside of you. It is time for you all to stand up and stand for this country and this world, because you see it's not just here in America. It is the world that is being corrupted by this evil. It is. And so now is the time. If not me, then who? And if not now, then when? And you need to ask yourself that question too. You may not be the tip of the spear like me, but you are a part of that same team. And so I'm asking all of you to ask questions, to speak the truth, and to seek it, and continue to stand against the darkness that is coming against you and your families, especially our children. So, my name is Dan Burton. You know where I'm at. You know where the warrior that I am, and I'm calling upon all of you to be the warriors that you were created to be, to stand together and win this country back and to save it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan. Now we have a special surprise promotion. Steve, you're up, buddy.
Well, if anybody heard or remembers at the Reading Phillies, they have that crazy hot dog vendor. They throw hot dogs around. We're going to do a T-shirt. Sorry, you're not getting a hot dog. Price of hot dogs went up. So I'm going to wing a T-shirt out here. I'm going to go behind the screen so nobody can say, well, Steve threw it at somebody he knows. So get ready. I'm going to throw you a shirt out here. And whoever gets it, if it doesn't fit you, that's tough. No, I'm kidding. You can go back and exchange it for one that fits you much better. So here we go. I'm going to go back here. It's almost like a magician show, you know what? I'm going to disappear. A lot of people would hope that would happen, I think, but that's okay. So in 1, in 2, in 3, here we go.
Fantastic catch. Whoa. Congratulations.
Hey, look at that.
Whoa.
Sign him up for the Phillies or something. I don't know. There you go, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you, Steve. Folks, up next is J.R. McGee. J.R. is our special guest speaker. He's going to talk about Ukraine. A little bit about J.R. As program manager at Top Gun ranges worldwide, JR specialized in operations, training, and development of fighter pilots, special forces, combat field engineering, and providing operational support to intelligence and counterterrorism operations around the world. He was the host of the radio show Behind the Lines, focusing on geopolitical and Middle Eastern affairs. Sorry about that, folks. He's a semi-regular guest on Stand in the Gap radio with host Congressman Sam Rohr, who I mentioned earlier. Folks, his resume is at least 3 times that, but I'm stopping. I do want to add one other part of his. It's not on his resume, but we know it's a fact. JR and Bonnie's over here. Where's Bonnie? They are both Berks County Patriot members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's all welcome J.R. McGee.
Thank you, Sam. And I do want to say good evening, friends. And I don't say friends because it's political. We've heard a lot of politics. I say friends because I've gotten a chance to know several of you, and I do consider you friends. I go all over the world, and I'm asked to join a lot of organizations, and I don't join many organizations. But I am proud to be a member of the Berks County Patriots. So I bid you welcome tonight on behalf of patriots from all over the United States. And as we've seen in Ukraine, patriots aren't unique to the United States. Patriotism is not a nationality. Patriotism is an act. Patriotism is an emotion that comes from within. Patriotism is not taught. Patriotism is something that comes out under extreme adversity, under the greatest of stresses. And you find out when things are bad what you truly believe in and what you will truly stand up for and what you will sit down for. We've seen recently in Ukraine the fact that men and women and even children have been involved in what's going on over there. Children are helping to pass out food and ammunition. There's a lot going on. I could spend several hours and not convey to you all of the things that are going on. And unfortunately, I've only got about 20 minutes, so I'm going to try to use it to the best advantage. Vladimir Putin does not bluff. He's not ever had to bluff. When you are a dictator, when you run the country, why would you need to bluff to get what you need done? He's never had to bluff. All these people on the news media that tell you he's bluffing, I don't know where they're getting that from, because it's not from history, it's not from Vladimir Putin's background, and it's not from the things that he's done in his past. He doesn't bluff. What he has done is surround himself with people in his cabinet and especially in his military that tell him what he wants to hear. That is the dominant theme that's responsible for the biggest mistake in Vladimir Putin's career. That mistake was believing that the people of Ukraine wanted the Russians to come in and save them. He honestly believed that. That was not an act. That was not anything that was propaganda. He thought that the government of Ukraine was corrupt and would be easily toppled, and that they could come in and the people of Ukraine would welcome him and his forces with open arms and welcome them back. And that's what the people around him told him, because that's what Vladimir Putin wanted to hear. He was shocked when the people of Ukraine stood up to him and stood up to the military. Vladimir made another tactical mistake because he thought that he could go in and in 2 to 3 days overthrow the government, and then they would simply move into the military compounds and take over their fuel dumps. They would take over their military equipment. They would take over their supplies, their food. He didn't need to bring all that stuff. So he drastically underestimated, his generals drastically underestimated what it was going to take to go do this. That is the biggest mistake of Vladimir Putin's career. He also drastically underestimated how much this was going to cost him personally in terms of reputation, because money's not what drives Vladimir Putin. He's one of the richest men in the world, but he could care less about that. Vladimir Putin is about power, about control, but mostly respect. Vladimir Putin demands respect, and he gives respect to those who have earned it. I am so sorry to be the one to have to tell you tonight. This will shock you, but bear with me. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have not earned Vladimir Putin's respect. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but it hasn't happened yet, and I don't think it's going to happen. He has taken their measure. He's found them wanting. And their weakness is precisely why he made the decision to go in and take Ukraine. He thought he could go in 48 to 72 hours and have Ukraine be a done deal, and then he could turn his forces into Poland. He could turn his forces into Hungary. He could turn his forces into the Czech Republic. He could take over Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania. He is dedicated towards rebuilding the former Warsaw Pact. And there's a reason for this. Respect. It boils strictly down to respect. Vladimir Putin is hungry for more respect, and he sees power as the way to get that respect. Their economy in Russia is about the size of Italy's. I'm sorry, but Italy's not that big an economic power. Russia doesn't have the natural resources of a world power. Russia doesn't have the technology to demand respect as a world power. But if you combine Russia with Ukraine, you combine Russia with Georgia, you combine Russia with Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania, you combine Russia with Poland and Hungary, now you've got the mass, now you've got the military might, you've got the resources, you've got the raw materials, you've got the minerals, you've got resources in oil and gas, and guess what? Ukraine supplies about 25% of the wheat for the entire world. Russia supplies 20 to 25% of the wheat for the entire world. Neither one of them are focused on planting right now. What do you think happens when you take 40 to 50% of the world's wheat, soybeans, and other oil-producing grains off the market? What do you think is going to happen to food prices? The United States, we grow a lot of food. We got corn, we got wheat coming out the ears. Just go to Kansas. They got nothing but straight, flat roads and cornfields. We can grow that, but we cannot make up the difference for a reduction in 50% of the world's wheat to feed the world. We will be able to feed ourselves, but what happens when you reduce the demand for that much food for that much of the world? What happens? Can you guys took economics in high school? Supply and demand. When you cut supply and demand stays equal, what happens to prices? Oh my God, you have not seen inflation yet. You have not seen what this is going to cost everybody in the world. Vladimir Putin has drastically underestimated what it's going to cost him personally, what it's costing him professionally, what it's costing the country of Russia, what it is costing the people of Ukraine, what it's costing the people of NATO, because NATO is getting nervous. I remember somebody, I can't remember quite who it was, somebody went over to NATO a couple of years ago and was telling NATO they needed to ramp up the spending for the NATO military. Who was that? What? I remember somebody going over to NATO and saying, you guys should not trust Russia for your energy prices. You shouldn't trust Russia to take care of you. You should not trust Russia to not attack you. You need to spend more money to prepare and defend yourselves. And he was castigated. He was laughed at. He was ridiculed. He was ridiculed by the very people now that are wetting their panties over what's going on because they say, oh my God, who could have seen this coming? A blind person could have seen this coming. Now, I'm going to be on Sam Rohrer's radio show. I am a regular. I'm going to be on Monday talking about this same stuff. Sam told me the other day, he said, JR, we've been tracking, and you're better than 98.8% accurate on everything you've been telling our audience for the last 2 years. I told Sam's audience 2 weeks before Kabul fell, before Afghanistan fell, I didn't think the government was going to last through the weekend. People in Washington, D.C. said, oh, no, it will last for at least another year. It failed. They said, who could have seen this coming? No, I'm sorry, Joe Biden, I'm not even sure he knows what brand of pudding pop he's eating. Anybody could see these things coming. It's not because I'm smart. It's not because I'm prescient. I simply pay attention. And I read and I listen to people that I trust, and I go get information from a lot of different sources, and I try to find out what's right. I've got a three-source rule. I don't talk about anything that I have not seen in 3 sources in the white world, and that's in the unclassified world. I'm not ever going to talk to you about anything that is classified. We're not having that conversation. But if I find 3 different sources about something that you can go read, you can go find out, I will talk to you about those things. It's easy to put this stuff together if you're paying attention. Who in here has the feeling that something is not right? All right, so now we've determined that this is not rocket science, and the people that are advising Joe Biden have got it wrong. I'm sorry, I wished I could tell you different. I respect the office of the President of the United States deeply. I respect the office of Secretary of State deeply. I'm a disabled military vet. I respect the office of the Secretary of Defense deeply. I do not respect any of the occupants of those offices at this time, although I still respect the offices themselves. The fiasco that we allowed to happen as a government in Afghanistan and the weakness that we've shown in situation after situation after situation is precisely what gave Vladimir Putin the idea now was the time to do this. You probably have seen this. I saw a meme or whatever you call those things on Facebook the other day, and it says, I'm not sure I quite understand, but why is it that if Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump were so close and so good buddies, why didn't Vladimir Trump invade Ukraine when Trump was president? Because he knew he'd gotten his butt kicked. We would have done something. Now, Ukraine is not a NATO country. Here's what you should be worried about. The Russian doctrine is perfectly okay with the first use of tactical nuclear weapons. Not strategic nuclear weapons, but tactical nuclear weapons. In fact, their policy is not MAD. MAD is mutually assured destruction. That says if we use these, we all die, so let's don't use these. The Russian strategy is escalate to de-escalate. That's an almost direct translation from the Russian words. Escalate to de-escalate. Now, what does this mean? What this means is if we don't think we're winning fast enough, we'll ramp it up. And we'll ramp it up faster and further than we think you're willing to go, so we'll force you to stand down so we win. Right now, Vladimir Putin ain't doing real good. That's just the kindest way to put it. This has taken much longer than he ever thought was possible. He's lost way more people. He's lost more tanks. He's lost more fighter jets. He's even lost a couple of his strategic bombers. Hadn't been on the news, but he's lost some really important assets. It's becoming very expensive. And he can't get his own people to go down there now. That is why he just hired 40,000 Syrians, Muslim fighters, who are really good at fighting in downtown urban areas to come into Ukraine and fight for the Russian army in return for Russia coming in at Obama's behest to help Obama with his red line problem when Assad used chemical weapons in Syria. You remember that? I remember telling a lot of people that action was going to cost the United States and it was going to cost the world drastically. Guess what? We're now paying the piper because Russia is now seen as the strong horse in the Middle East. The United States has lost all credibility in the Middle East. In fact, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates and the UAE is where we have the dominant naval forces for the United States based. We do a lot through the UAE to protect people and assets and resources in the Middle East. UAE refused to take a phone call from Joe Biden this week. Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, refused to take a phone call from Joe Biden this week. And it's worse. Yesterday, Saudi Arabia announced, they have talked about this in the past. Yesterday, they announced they will start trading next week oil in yuan and rubles. Oh, I can see some of you don't know what that means. What that means is the United States dollar may no longer be the reserve currency of the world. Our entire economy is based on the fact that we are a reserve currency. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is fact. The world trades key resources and key assets in American dollars. That is why we are a reserve currency, and it is predominantly based on the oil transitions and oil transfers from countries all over the world. Since 1973, it has always been done in American dollars. That and that alone is why the United States is considered a reserve currency. Every other currency in the world, you have to have assets to back your currency. A reserve currency is based on the futures of assets and resources that have not been mined and drilled and pumped yet. We can borrow $30 trillion because we're a reserve currency based on oil that hasn't been sold yet. If they start selling that oil in stuff that's other than dollars, we're not a reserve currency. What that means is banks, countries, and organizations all over the world who hold United States Treasury bonds and Treasury bills can call those due. I don't know about you. I was checking with my wife the other day. We ain't got to spare $30 trillion. Not even close. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just about Ukraine. I've had a lot of people say, why should we care about Ukraine? It's a good question. I have struggled to answer that question in my own mind. But as I look at all the other things that are going on, it is all related. Xi Jinping in China, they had a plan. And this is one thing that I got wrong, but it turns out I got right. I was telling people, I even told people on Sam Rohr's radio show the week before Russia invaded, and I got that wrong by 9 hours. But I told them that the plan was for Russia to invade Ukraine, China to invade Taiwan, and Iran to attack Israel all at the same moment in time, because there was no way the United States, there was no way NATO, there was no way the West could deal with all three of those crises at one time. Turns out Vladimir Putin jumped the gun. He went early. And I told people he's gone early. And I got laughed at. That's okay, I don't care. Yesterday, I was sent a document from the FSB. If you're not familiar with the FSB, you might remember the KGB in the Cold War. Well, the KGB morphed into the FSB. One of their analysts in the FSB sent out a document verifying and validating that the Russians attacked prematurely. Do you remember when 3 days after the start of the invasion, China put sanctions on Russia? You remember that? And a lot of the news media says, oh, look, China's on our side. No, they're not. Xi Jinping was highly upset at Vladimir Putin for attacking before they were ready. And those sanctions were a message to Vladimir Putin, you don't run the show, I do. Get your house in order. And now Russia has made a botch of the entire operation. Lavrov, who is the foreign minister for Vladimir Putin, he's the equivalent of Blinken, Blinken and Nod from our State Department. Lavrov is the foreign minister for Vladimir Putin. This morning, this stuff is as good as intelligence as I can give you in an unclassified world. Lavrov was flying from Moscow to Beijing this morning. He got within 150 miles of the Chinese border in Siberia, and he was ordered to return back. China refused to allow the Russian foreign minister into Chinese airspace. Now, some of the people that I talked to said, oh, well, they had aircraft mechanical problems, horse hockey. You don't fly another 5.5 hours back if you've got problems with your airplane. You go land at a close airport. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works. He flew from Moscow almost to China and then flew from almost to China back to Moscow this morning. Why in the world would the Chinese premier refuse to allow the Russian envoy into Chinese airspace? Well, that's a $64,000 question, isn't it? And I can promise you it ain't because Vladimir Putin's doing a good job. Why is this important? Vladimir Putin will not lose, cannot lose, and he's losing. Why do I say he cannot lose? He has people around him that can't wait for him to retire. He's in his 70s. He's very popular while he's listening. He's not that popular when he's not in the room. And if he bugs this up much worse, they will take him out. And Xi Jinping will help them take him out. Vladimir Putin is very much aware of this. Vladimir Putin understands crystal clear he cannot lose this battle in Ukraine that he is losing. Now, let me talk just for a second about Ukraine. The Ukrainians have not just been patriotic. They've not just stepped up to defend their country. They have been heroic in the very definition of the word. Their president, I'm sorry, I've heard people say he's a bad guy. He's a comedian. He's a TV actor. He hasn't been president long enough to be corrupted. He's not corrupted yet, although the Ukrainian government system seems designed to corrupt people. He hasn't been there long enough to be corrupted. But what he has done, he has shown true leadership. I own a company, the Extreme Leadership Group. I go all over the world teaching leadership and training executives in how to be a great leader. That's what I do. And business is good. He is demonstrating great leadership. He's actually going to the hospitals and visiting the people that are wounded. He's out wearing flak jackets. He's in combat fatigues. He's out on the street fighting with his people. He is leading the charge. I got one question for you. Where would Barack Obama be and where would Joe Biden be if this was happening in America? I don't say that to be funny, although it's a little humorous, but it's sad more than it's humorous because I can't see them being on the front lines. I can't see them taking the risks to lead their people from the front. In fact, Barack Obama coined the phrase leading from behind. There's no such thing as leading from behind. That's the person who sweeps up the elephant poop at the end of the parade. You don't lead from behind, you clean up from behind. You lead from the front. And the Ukrainians are showing Americans what it's like to be free. And I'm ashamed of that. I'm ashamed. I'm sorry. We should still be the ones showing them how to be free. We should be the ones showing them how to stand up. We should be the ones showing the world how to keep our freedom. And we can't even stand up to a flipping mask. At what point do we say to heck with your mandates and regain the freedom that I don't think I ever gave away my freedom. I never gave them permission to tell me what I could and couldn't do. We're either Americans or we're not. We're either free or we're not. God help us when we allow the Ukrainians to show us what freedom-loving people look like. That's not the way Americans should act. And Xi Jinping is deadly serious. You pay attention to that man because he knows what he's doing. He knows how to do it. He will take Taiwan, and when he takes Taiwan, you don't get computer chips anymore. That means your cell phones, your cars, your TVs, your medical devices, your banks, your internet, your telephones no longer work unless you agree to what the Chinese tell you you can and can't do. We lose Taiwan, you lose everything. You lose technology. And the only way you get it back is if you agree to whatever the Chinese want you to do, then they will let you have the chips. That's not the way I grew up. It's not the way I guaranteed to live my life. But if we don't wake up, if we don't do what's necessary, that's the life we're facing. A lack of food, a lack of technology, and a lack of leadership. That will bring down a country. And we have allowed far too much. It's time to stand up. It's time to say who we are. It's time to quit wearing T-shirts about freedom. And it's time to start living like free men and women. God bless the American. God bless the United States. God bless our men and women in uniform. God bless the American patriots of Berks County.
Stand up, folks. Stand up. True American, true patriot. Now you know why we had him tonight. We needed him. We need him always. Thank you so much. Thank you, JR. Thank you, Bonnie. Made a special trip in from York. You had another event before this. Thank you. Okay, Marie, Linda, whoever is coming up here. Come on, girls. Folks, we're going to say a prayer in a minute, so please stay here if you would. We want to remind you about next month's meeting. It's Candidates Night. You want to say something, Sally? Go, here.
Up at the rally in Harrisburg, somebody left a insulated mug. If anybody lost a mug and wants it back, it's a nice mug, but you're going to have to describe it to me, because if I don't find the owner, I'm keeping it. So it's a nice mug. So if you lost your mug up at Harrisburg at the trucker rally, come see me. Thanks.
Okay, Marie's going to do the 50-50. Marie? Here, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. Marie, how much is it? Folks, $233. $233 to the winner. And the number is, here.
384-5883. 384-5883. Last three numbers, 883.
883, winner down there.
All right, come on up. I also have 2 T-shirts here that I'm going to give away also.
Okay, folks, we got a bonus here. A bonus, and then we're going to close the meeting with the prayer. Kim, are you up here? Kim? Kim? Come on, girl. This is a bonus.
540 is the last three numbers. 540. Oh, 540.
Okay, one more, and then we're closing the meeting. One more.
Nine, 994. Yep. Oh, was it you? That's funny that you. You can take that, and I'll take it. Can I take the whole thing, or?
I don't need it.
Okay, thank you. Marie, we're going to close the meeting with a prayer. Here's Kim.
Heavenly Father, as we close our time together, God, bless the Patriots. Help them remember that you are always there to go ahead of us. You go with us, and you go after us, Lord. Help everyone here have a good week and safe travel home. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, folks. See you next month. Drive safely.